See an inside bucket from Olsen. He took some fall for that loss last year, saying it was just, quite frankly, a bad game plan. And it just was a bad game plan. We didn't execute it well, and they rebounded. They got the win on the road at Providence, but it was a really good win for Providence to come in here last year and take that one from the Jays.
But that pass from Archibald into Olsen, and a lane violation is going to give Olivia Olsen a second attempt from the free throw line.
An interesting lane violation too. It was Lauren Jensen stepping into the three-point arc from beyond the arc before it hit the rim.
And that's going to cost Creighton a point. So Providence now pulls back within one, coming upon 5 minutes to go here in the first half. An exciting game it's been so far. A quick shot from Jensen. Morgan Molly inside with the rebound. And she puts it back up, Creighton up 3.
That's one of those that ended up in her breadbasket. That was just down by her waist. It hit the lower half of the rim and just kind of caromed right to her. She was fortunate to secure it.
Scott puts the ball on the floor, was looking for Ifosa. Instead, gives it up to Olsen. Hands it off to Eddie. Ifosa from 3, and Gracie Fosa didn't hit anything there. There's been a couple of shots like that today for Providence. Here's Jensen now with Gracie Fosa on her. Kennedy Townsend back on the floor for Creighton. Morgan Molly from 3. In and out, and Archibald's able to get the rebound.
See Providence slowing it down now, trying to get back to the pace that you would expect them to play at.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, Providence was really happy to run up and down the floor early, and it allowed them to have a first quarter lead. Nariah Scott trying to tie it, misses, but no one was there, and she's able to get her own rebound.
Long rebound out beyond the three-point arc.
Here's Ifosa with Jensen on her to Archibald. Archibald's going to put the ball on the floor. Ifosa, a deep 2, and she gets another one to go. 8 points now on 4 of 6 shooting.
Tell you what, Gracie Fosa, she loves herself some DJ Sokol Arena.
Other side, Ronsik's three-pointer goes around and around but never falls.
Again, Ifosa started the first 5 games of the season, missed the next 11. She returned on Wednesday, played 29 minutes against UConn, and then you mentioned it too, Josh, back in the starting lineup today. They have missed her, and then Coach talked about the energy that she brings back to them.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Providence could retake the lead. Ifosa, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. They need to get it up. They're going to say that Scott did. I don't know if that one did.
That one definitely did not look like she beat the clock as she did in the first quarter.
Almost an intercepted pass instead of 3. No one was on Kennedy Townsend. She's shooting 50% from the three-point arc this season.
Yeah, on the season, 14 of 28. Now she's over 50%, and she loves shooting at home. On the season, she's now 11 for 17 from three-point range at DJ Sokol Arena.
Just wonder if there was a bit of confusion there for Providence. Ifosa with the step back jumper. She is just off on that one, and Creighton can add to it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Josh. It was Creighton getting in their offense before Providence gets to their defense, and that's allowed that open look.
Providence was almost able to take it away on that possession, but then that second pass, as a foul is going to be called on the floor.
I'm surprised that whistle was so late. The hip check. You saw Eddie come over to try to double team Emma Ronsick and got up underneath her, and I think it ended up being on Scott, though. Either way, the foul number 4 here in the quarter, so Creighton still potential to get to the line here in the final couple minutes.
Ugne Surtateta enters for the first time for the Friars. And Jensen drives in. She's done that now 3 or 4 times this afternoon. Robin lays that one in with her left hand.
Yeah, she's really made a concerted effort to get on the inside. First player in double figures, joining Molly.
Excuse me, Rob. A nice pass from Marta Morales Romero inside to Olivia Olsen. And Olsen adds to her output up to 7 points. She's shooting 75% from the floor today. Nice pass there from Jensen to Ronsick. Ronsick high off the glass, and Creighton back up by 6.
Well, the pass led Ronsick almost a little too far, and she caught it on her fingertips and then was underneath the basket. That was a high degree of difficulty shot for her.
Creighton outscoring Providence by 10 points in this quarter. Olsen unable to get the pass, and it's another turnover. Here comes Jensen with 70 seconds left in the first half. Like a bit of a mismatch there on the defense. Rancic drives in, a foul will be called on the floor, and she's gonna go to the free throw line for 2.
Yeah, trying to draw the charge there was Nariah Scott, but she leaned back into it and didn't hold her ground, and that'll result in the foul. We talked about Rancic with that high degree of difficulty shot. She made some crazy shots on Wednesday night, 10 of 14 though, highly efficient in that win over Butler. Talked to Coach Flannery about that this week too, and asked him, you know, are you ever concerned with her taking those kind of awkward looking shots? And he said, quite frankly, no. And he cited the fact that she works and trains on those shots more outside of her team workouts with a trainer that she does those shots on.
There's another takeaway. Nice double team defense there. Creighton with their largest lead, they can add to it. Under a minute to go now, and another foul, and Rancic gets it to go. She'll go back to the free throw line for one more.
And again, right on cue, she finishes through contact, a tough take, good feed from Mallory Brake. I mean, what are you gonna do if you're Serta Teta? I mean, she's there, she does just about everything right, just came down a little bit and drew some contact.
Gets it to go, a little senior on freshman crime there. She knows all the tricks.
And here you see some pressure from Creighton that Coach Flannery had mentioned.
A really strong finish to the half. Creighton up by 11 points now with 39.6 seconds left.
Yeah, flipping the script again. Providence scored 20 in the opening quarter to have that 4-point lead after one.
At Creighton 26-11. They have outscored Providence in this quarter. As you pointed out, that defense has really been picking up as well. Morales Romero with the ball, 13 seconds on the shot clock. Goes inside, that's a nice feed, but a missed shot there.
Great pass.
And Creighton will have it, the shot clock is turned off. Blue Jays up by 11 points, 42-31. Mogensen to Morgan Molly, to Rancic. Rancic, nice pass. Kennedy Townsend misses though. And that is how the first half will end. The Jays up by 11 points here in Omaha. More to come in the halftime festivities for this Big East matchup. A lot of Creighton shots fell in that quarter. More to come here on the Big East Digital Network.
With steady wings, Blue Jays fly. With bright minds and curious hearts, they discover their path and soar to new heights. They uncover new research and explore new horizons. At Creighton University, Blue Jays find their perch side by side and take flight, ready to lead the world around them.
In the world of athletes, where every move counts, setbacks can feel like a mountain to climb. At Rothman Orthopedics, our team of top-notch orthopedic experts are here to get you back to doing what you love, because we specialize in you. We're not just about recovery, we're about rewriting your story. With specialized physicians and unwavering support, we help you rise above adversity. Rothman Orthopedics, the official orthopedic provider of athletes.
It is week 10, episode 10 of In the Bonus. We've got Isis Young, Kim Adams, myself, Megan Caffrey. No Lisa this week. She'll be with us again next week. But hey ladies, what's up? How are we doing?
We're busy. We're right in the thick of the season. We're going from game to game. We're traveling. We're keeping up with the scores. It's a busy Monday as we record this.
Yeah, all over the place. It's been fun watching you guys and like watching you guys on TV, following what you're doing on socials. We're popping off. And so let's just dive right into it because you ladies have a lot to do. So let's chat. Let's chat starting with looking at the AP poll this week. When the votes were released, we still do have 3 Big East teams in the AP poll, a little bit of movement. Some spots were changed around, but we've got UConn, Creighton, and Marquette all within the top 25 still 10 weeks through the season. They did move down a couple of spots. Marquette notably did move down 4 since the last polling. So I'm curious, Ice, I'll start with you of just when you look at it, what does that say about all 3 of these teams, the state of women's basketball, the competition that we're seeing right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think honestly for UConn and Creighton, their spots only moves because other teams moved up. Other teams had impressive wins. Looking across the country, Virginia Tech had a huge win over NC State in ACC play. They beat a number 3 NC State that took a couple of slots down from that. And so I think just we're seeing a couple of teams towards that top tier pop up. And so UConn slid down 1. Same thing for Creighton. They've been pretty consistent around that 21, 22. They're staying in the top 25. They've been pretty consistent. And then Marquette dropping 4 spots is because of 2 losses. The loss to UConn and then the loss to St. John's. And just, I think in point differential with the UConn loss and getting that eye test, it's, 30 plus points. And so I think they just had, a tough couple of games. I think they're still obviously in top 25, number 23. They're going to have plenty of opportunities to continue to build that resume in the Big East. That's the great thing about playing in a tough conference. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing just really across the board. It is not necessarily anything wrong with Creighton or UConn. They've been solid. Just a couple teams across the country that have been playing exceptionally well and moving up. I think Baylor is the team of the month almost is what it's going to seem like. They've had some pretty crucial wins recently. They moved up to top 4 in the country. Sarah Andrews, one of the best dynamic guards in the country. And so really excited to see how consistent they can be. They've got a ranked opponent coming up as well. So I think it's just a lot of national things going on, a lot of in-game conferences and rivalries that are happening.
Yeah, Baylor is just one of 3 teams left undefeated: South Carolina, UCLA, and then Baylor. My thoughts on the poll: I actually moved UConn up a couple spots into the top 10 this week for the first time in a while, in a couple weeks, and it's just because I'm so impressed with the product we're seeing on the floor as they get accustomed to who's available for them. The freshmen, we've talked a lot about them. So I actually moved UConn up into the 10th spot because when I watch them play right now, I'm like, this is a top 10 team. But yeah, Marquette and Creighton, I personally thought, because when I saw Marquette lose to St. John's, I saw it, I was on the game. I was like, oh man, like I'm probably going to have to drop Marquette out of the rankings this week. But then as I was doing my rankings last night, there are a ton of teams who are losing. Like basically I did my top 15 and then from like 16 on, like 16 to 20, like everybody lost. So I think it's the time of the season where like most teams in the poll have at least 2 losses. Some like high level teams have 3 to 4 losses, like a UConn, like a UNC, like a Utah. And I think we're just at that time of the year where you see just how hard it is to win on the road in conference games. I don't care what conference you play. And we saw Marquette losing at St. John's. I'm thinking of Utah, who played South Carolina really tough earlier in the year. They lost to Arizona. NC State, as I mentioned, losing at Virginia Tech. So as I'm doing my rankings, when teams are losing on the road, I don't put too much into that. I'm like, it's hard to win on the road in conference play. So I think it's great for the league that Marquette and Creighton are still hanging in there by a little bit. And I do think UConn is playing like a top 10 team right now.
Well, speaking of just how hard it is to win on the road, Ice, you watched Villanova come into Seton Hall and take down the Pirates. What were your thoughts on that game? What Lucy Olson looks like this year in person? I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm going to say I did not expect this to happen. I thought that Seton Hall was kind of bouncing back and catching their rhythm and their flow back offensively. I thought they had multiple players that were starting to step up. But it was really an uncharacteristic game of the Pirates. They had a ton of, missed opportunities in the paint, a ton of missed layups. And Villanova just kept it ugly. They really just mucked it up is how I felt. But this is one of the few games, guys, in which we're going to see Lucy Olson was not the leading scorer for the Wildcats. And that's what I talked about with Denise Dillon after the game. I said, hey, like, what's going on here? It's a rare time in which Lucy's not the leading scorer. Christina Dulce only had 6 points. She did have 12 boards. But it was
was it Oriole? Caitlin Oriole?
Oh, yes, Caitlin Oriole. There we go. Thank you.
Teamwork.
Yeah, it was Caitlin Oriole off the bench. It was Maddie Weber, the freshman, off the bench. Both of those two were in double figures, and then Lucy had 10. And so only a 50-point game. I mean, it was a low-scoring game, but it made me think of like the Wildcats. It was just a good game to pull out on the road, knowing that your leading scorer didn't have her best day, but your team could still win and pull games out. So I thought that they looked pretty strong. I thought that it was just a tough, ugly game. But in conference play, like when you win those, especially on the road, as Kim just alluded to, like those are the extra ones you need at the end that really count. So I thought it was a good win for the Wildcats on the road. And then got a chance to catch up with Maddie Segrist, which was awesome as well.
Oh, Maddie.
So she was at the game. Yeah. So it's so good to talk and catch up with her. Just talk about, she's getting ready to go to play in Athletes Unlimited. That starts in February. So just continuing her pro journey with that. And just talking about how she's kind of doing a little bit of coaching and practices and helping the girls out. And so it seems like she's finding success in other things, like connected to basketball, but in other avenues, which is really cool.
This is the game in its purest form. Where the passion lasts a lifetime. The rivalries stay true. And the power of the upset is real. College Hoops on Fox, Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern.
With steady wings, Blue Jays fly. With bright minds and curious hearts, they discover their path and soar to new heights. They uncover new research and explore new horizons. At Creighton University, Blue Jays find their perch side by side and take flight, ready to lead the world around them.
In the world of athletes, where every move counts, setbacks can feel like a mountain to climb. At Rothman Orthopedics, our team of top-notch orthopedic experts are here to get you back to doing what you love, because we specialize in you. We're not just about recovery, we're about rewriting your story. With specialized physicians and unwavering support, we help you rise above adversity. Rothman Orthopedics, the official orthopedic provider of athletes.
Fresh, warm hot dogs.
When I'm not selling hot dogs, I invest in a fund that advances innovations like robotics.
Fresh, warm hot dogs straight out of my torso. One for you, one for you. Oh, you're a messy one.
Cool, right? So cool.
Anyone can become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives you access to NASDAQ 100 innovations.
Hot dogs. Fresh, warm hot dogs.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risk, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Starting the second half for the Flyers, Ifosa, Merrill, Olsen, Eddie, and Archibald for the Blue Jays, Drake, LJ, Mogensen, Molly, and Ronson.
Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me act a fool. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me lose my cool. Up in here,
Welcome back to DJ Sokol Arena as the second half begins. Josh Peterson, Rob Sims, and our entire crew with you from a very cold Omaha, Nebraska. Ronsick picking up, Rob, where she left off. A nice scoop shot there, and Creighton extends their largest lead of the game.
Again, she practices those. It's okay for Flan doesn't mind her shooting those, but man, you feel almost defeated if you're a defender because it's such a tough take.
And a 5-second violation there. Another turnover for the Friars. Rob, that's their 9th of the game, and that kind of, as this half begins, kind of tells the story of what we have seen today. Creighton started this one shooting 6 of 19 from the floor. They have since made 10 of 15 shots, and they're now nearing 50% from the field today.
Well, and to your point there too, Josh, Creighton turned the ball over twice in their first 3-4 possessions of this ball game. Since that time, 0 turnovers. So an entire quarter without turnovers, and Creighton took much better care of the ball along with shooting it better. Even though you can still see the activity level is high for the Providence Friars on defense, they just haven't gotten the same amount of stops they did when they led after the first quarter.
It was a really interesting first half, given the pace that these two teams usually like to play. It was a bit quicker than we expected, and another quick foul. So that's already 2, Rob, in 52 seconds. This one's going to be called on Emily Archibald.
Well, and you saw really quick substitutions after that first foul as well.
See the current score there. The turnovers, a big part of the story. 9 versus those 2 that Rob was just talking about. Ronsick, wow, what a pass along the baseline. Mallory Brake, fadeaway off the glass. Creighton's now up by 15.
Yeah, you said it. I don't know how there was enough space there to not bounce that in the paint out of bounds to connect that pass, but what a nice pass from a really good scorer, but even a better post passer from Ronsick.
Wide open 3 from Nariah Scott. She had a nice 3 in the first half. Unable to get that one to go, though. Mogensen, no one in front of her. Another nice pass. This one to Mallory Brake, and Brake now with 4 points in the last minute.
Yeah, Brake did not score in the first half, and that's not unusual for her. She's not averaging a lot, about 5 points per game. It's the defense and rebounding that she's out there for. She leads this team in steals, leads the team in blocks.
Creighton's defense has really picked up on this Friars side. Archibald driving in. Brake is on her. Archibald, physical, but a nice defensive play there from Mallory Brake.
Another block from the Creighton block leader.
Brake. Morgan Molly, the lefty for 3. Fell off on that one. And a smile,
Yeah.
bit of a heat check again.
Little wry grin there. And that's unusual to see a sharpshooter for either side shooting an air ball, but especially on your home floor. And we're seeing a lot of subs already here in the second half for Coach Bath for the Friars, trying to get those right pieces on the floor.
Providence started the game 8 of 14 from the field. They've only made 4 buckets, make it 5 since then, and an important shot there from Marta Morales-Romero. Break quickly the other way, and another foul is going to be called. This one on Olivia Olson, and Mallory Brake will go to the free throw line. She missed 2 of those in the first half.
Yeah, Creighton leads the nation in free throw shooting as a team, 83%, but you talked about Brake's troubles at the stripe, 1 for 8 on the season now.
Make it 1 of 9 after this next one. It'll be very easy to do the math on her percentage. And you see the replay there, the foul on the junior out of New York State. Brake gets that one to go, so takes her percentage up to 20% on the year from the free throw line, gives Creighton a 16-point lead.
And again, they have a lot of scoring options, and Brake doesn't have to be one of them. And Coach Flannery really has liked what he's gotten out of her defensively this season.
Fosa, she had 8 in the first half, leading the way for all Friars scores. Is she going to get the ball back? No. Nice defense there. Jensen tips it away. Here is a deep 2, Emma Ronsick. She's had a good one today, up to 14 points now, shooting above 50%.
Yeah, the catch, the turnaround, the shot, that's hard to defend. And again, Creighton getting shots off quickly because the Friars did such a great job in half-court defense in the first quarter.
And a foul is going to be called on the other end. Now, Providence, Rob, they were up by 4 at the end of those first 10 minutes, 20-16, and those 16 points were hard-earned from Creighton. You see the foul there on Brake.
Yeah, and I think that was an effort that Coach Flannery probably talked to his team about, that they kind of, the pace ticked up a notch there in the second quarter, and in order to really avoid the Providence Friars getting set up on their defensive end.
Olsen makes her second and third free throws of the game. Missed a couple as well, and she's up to 9 points. Mogensen to Brake, and another foul is going to be called on the floor, Rob. So we've heard the whistle quite a few times early on in this second half.
Yeah, 4th foul already, and that's a hold. As this, again, the Blue Jays motion offense just constantly in movement, and sometimes you'll see some teams clutch and grab and try to slow them down.
Jensen picks up her dribble. Out to Morgan Molly, over to Molly Mogensen. Mallory Brake. Teams usually play off of her. And a travel. Jensen just took the step before she put it on the floor. And it'll be a turnover for Creighton. Only the third of the game and the first since early on in this one. Efosa with break on her. Nice screen. Efosa! There were 3 Blue Jay defenders there and misses, but she's going to go to the free throw line for 2.
Yeah, you really like her aggressiveness here with this take. Like you mentioned, the 3 Jays closing in on her, but she had the speed, the burst to get around all of them to get to the rim. Just couldn't finish, but has herself an opportunity again to add to her point total.
90% from the stripe this year, but misses the first just a little long.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Bath about her return, she said it's just a good, the energy is built up. They're happy to have her back, and they can kind of feed off of her. They missed her for those 11 games.
She misses both of them, and you see that energy really giving Creighton havoc, and a nice job. Olsen ends up with it, and then she is going to turn the ball over. Mogensen now the other way. Creighton doesn't have numbers, so she'll slow it up. Jensen with a bit of a pump fake. And now here's Morgan Molly, still a quick possession, misses, somehow ends up with it, but they're gonna say a foul on the floor on the Friars.
Yeah, the box out there from Archibald, a little bit too much. We'll see maybe the hook. Watch the box out underneath if we can see it. Well, you can see it coming right into your living room there. Archibald clearing out Emma Ronsick, which allowed, actually was to the benefit of the Blue Jays because Morgan Molly ended up coming down with her own rebound. Nonetheless, the Jays can still get some points here.
Ronsick up to 5 of 5 from the free throw line today. You see the point total. Leads all scorers, 15 points. And now a horn blows for substitution.
Yeah, we've got, there's Molly Mogensen over in the corner getting, maybe had a little scratch. They have X amount of time to get that wrapped up, and if you can stay in, you can stay in. If not, you're gonna have to get subbed out. Looks like Mogensen will have to sub out here begrudgingly.
Jamie Horan onto the floor for her. And now you see Mogensen as they touch up her, it's like the top of her left hand.
And now you don't have to be so quick with the repair, as they were trying to be quick to keep her on the floor, but Blue Jays get a couple of substitutions in.
So a long stay there at the free throw line for Ronsick, but she gets both to go. 6 of 6 now from the free throw line, 16 points, and Creighton with an 18-point edge. Nice pass inside, good work there from Olivia Olsen.
Yeah, Olsen doing a great job of getting low and getting that positioning she needed, and it was finally a good entry pass to her that she could finish with.
First Friar in double digits today. She's up to 11. Jensen to Horan, who just came onto the floor, gets a three-point shot to go. The second of the day for Jamie Horan.
Horan, the Omaha native, playing in her hometown, the lone senior to come off the bench. So a 6 senior member class for this team. Not all 6 are going to graduate, though. So unfortunately for the rest of the league, they're going to have to deal with some of these Blue Jays a little bit longer.
Morales Romero picked up her dribble. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Bandoma inside. Nice play there.
Really nice, strong take for Bandoma, the St. Francis transfer. She was on the NEC All-Tournament team last year.
First bucket of the day for Bandoma. Nice hands there from Grace Efosa. Ultimately, it will go out of bounds, and we will take our first break of the second half. Creighton up 17 with 4:35 to go in the third quarter in Omaha.
With steady wings, Blue Jays fly. With bright minds and curious hearts, they discover their path and soar to new heights. They uncover new research and explore new horizons. At Creighton University, Blue Jays find their perch side by side and take flight, ready to lead the world around them.
In the world of athletes, where every move counts, setbacks can feel like a mountain to climb. At Rothman Orthopedics, our team of top-notch orthopedic experts are here to get you back to doing what you love, because we specialize in you. We're not just about recovery, we're about rewriting your story. With specialized physicians and unwavering support, we help you rise above adversity. Rothman Orthopedics, the official orthopedic provider of athletes.
Big East Women's Basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, official ETF of the Big East Conference. You see Omaha there. Thankfully today a bit sunnier than it has been over the last few days, but cold outside, hot shooting inside though, Rob, for the Blue Jays. 5 of 7 now from the floor in this quarter. They're up to 50% for the game, and it was not always the case for them. They got off to a rough start. Some really good defense played early from Providence.
Yeah, Providence doing their best to slow down this high-powered Creighton offense and trying to match them offensively too. Providence has hit 3 of 5 shots in this quarter, but as we've talked about, the storyline with them is they also have 3 turnovers in this half. Creighton has been able to capitalize off those turnovers in the ball game. 13 points off of 11 turnovers for the Friars.
Saw Aaron Bath there, the first-year head coach for the Friars. And Townsend has her shot rejected, is able to get it back. Shot clock didn't reset, so 7 seconds left. 5 seconds now for Lauren Jensen. Hands it off to Townsend. 2 seconds. She's going to get a second go at it. Misses. There's going to be a whistle on the floor. They're going to call it on Creighton. And it'll be Providence ball.
Yeah, Jamie Horan trying to go over the back there as the infraction. There's the initial shot attempt, as you mentioned, blocked from Townsend. She's able to regain her own shot. She was the one getting the shot up there to try to beat the shot clock buzzer to no avail. So again, Providence defense forcing Creighton to go low in the shot clock and force a bad shot.
Olsen short on that 3. She's going to get it. We've seen quite a few long rebounds today, Rob. Eventually ends up in the hands of Sarah Bandoma. She misses, but she's going to go to the free throw line for 2. She has really struggled at the stripe this year.
Well, and when Creighton was struggling in the first quarter because of the Providence defense, it was a couple of shot clock violations or a couple late poor attempts from Creighton forced by Providence, and that's what we saw there on that possession too. So again, if Creighton's able to get down on offense and set their offense up before the half-court defense by Providence, then they're more successful.
Bandoma now 5 of 27 from the free throw line. Misses both, but good hustle again from Ifosa. So Sarah Bandoma now 5 of 28. But Providence still with the ball. Under 4 to go now in the third, and that's going to be a foul on Ronsick. They tried to work it into Olivia Olsen. By the way, one of the things we were going to be keeping an eye on, Rob, coming into this one with Olsen was her great defense and blocking all of those shots. She leads the team with 28 this year. 1.8 per game, but none so far through almost 3 quarters.
Well, yeah, such a great player. We haven't been able to talk about her that much. The Jays have tried to slow her down as much as they can. You mentioned it, leading the team in blocks. That's second in the Big East in blocks, third in the Big East in rebounds, fourth in the conference in field goal percentage. And she's only taken 6 field goal attempts in this one, but she's still converting at a very high clip.
Goes 1 of 2, up to 12 points now, and Providence trails by 16. Ronsick for 3, trying to make it 19, misses. Townsend just a little off on her rebound attempt, and it ends up in the hands of Marta Morales-Romero. Inside to Bandoma, nice turnaround with the left hand there for the junior.
A little bit of momentum here now for the Friars. The energy picking back up, maybe built off of their coach who is full of energy.
Jensen to Townsend. Mogensen back to Ronsick. Bit of an extended possession here for Creighton. Real good defense by Providence. Jensen picks up her dribble. Ronsick, 4 on the shot clock. Ronsick, scoop shot. How did she get that one to go? 18 points today for the senior.
She revels. I think she revels in taking those awkward, unorthodox shots because she practices them. That's something she works on. Not a surprise.
And will it be a turnover? The ball rolling around. Eventually ends up in the hands of a Friar. Again, it's Olivia Olson. Her coach, Aaron Bath, was arguing with an official, and they end up with the points, and they'll go to the line for one more.
Coach Bath.
You see her there.
Well, she wanted the foul on the entry pass, the initial entry pass that she felt Creighton kind of ran through, and I don't disagree with her. I think there was some contact there, and she's been asking for some fouls that haven't been whistled in this one. So looking for almost pleading for a technical, it seemed like at that point, because she was really in the ear of the officials.
Almost along the baseline by the time that she was arguing with an official, and a bit of a stoppage here before Olson will take another free throw. You mentioned it a minute or so ago, Rob. Aaron Bath, full of energy, just such a fun conversation. One of the most enjoyable that we have ever had with a coach, and showing that energy today as her team trails by 16.
Now, she had a lot of obviously great things to say. She's obviously very appreciative of her first head coaching job. She has been in the coaching ranks for a long time, 17 years with Division I teams. She was at Michigan last year. Her resume is fantastic. NC State, Georgia State, and Tennessee Tech, amongst others.
So we're going to take a break. Jay's up by 14. Welcome back to DJ Sokol Arena alongside Rob Sims and Josh Peterson. You see the current Big East standings, and Rob, it kind of helps explain why this one so important coming in. UConn at the top, Villanova with 1 loss, and then a ton of teams bunched in there with 2 or 3 losses.
Yeah, not a surprise to see who's up at the top. UConn has really played well despite all their injury issues this year. The impressive thing for me for Providence at that 2-2 mark, I mean, those 2 wins, too, are really impressive wins. At Seton Hall, the first time they've won at Seton Hall since 2011. Also got a win over DePaul, the first time they've beaten the Blue Demons since 2012. So those 2 wins, almost historic to get this season started for Providence.
Wow, there's a really nice takeaway and a layup by Marta Morales-Romero. By the way, the reason that we ended up taking a break was because the officials had to figure out who the foul was going to be called on what happened going into those free throws. Official was looking more at Aaron Bath than he was on the floor. They called it on Lauren Jensen, number 15 for Creighton.
Yeah, Providence with a little bit of momentum right now. They're really slowing down. Creighton getting this game more at the pace that they want to play at. And you can feel the energy building for this visiting team.
And Rancic gets up a shot with a second left, but it doesn't hit anything. And so this lead that was near 20, Rob, now down to 12 for the Blue Jays. And Providence coming to life on the offensive end.
Yeah, Creighton's largest lead, as you mentioned, 19 points. They were up 56 to 37 at one point. So this run really getting the Friars back in the ballgame, and you can feel the belief on their bench right now.
9-2 run for the Friars. Can they make it 11-2? Bandoma misses. She's been a part of this run. The scrum. Providence comes away with it. Morales-Romero misses. Bandoma inside. And it's a 10-point Creighton lead with 1:15 left in the third.
Bandoma's stats aren't jumping off the screen at you right now, but she's played some incredibly solid minutes and really been a difference maker here in the third quarter.
Excellent hustle in this quarter from Sarah Bandoma. Morgan Molly now on the other end. Trying to end this run, another short shot. Nariah Scott ends up with it, and a foul's gonna be called on Morgan Molly. And it'll be Providence ball with a chance to make this a single-digit Creighton lead.
Well, they'll be shooting to make it a single-digit lead because Creighton's already exceeded the fouls here in the third quarter, so got into the bonus here for the Friars, and a big run. And again, we can't overemphasize just the feeling around Coach Bath, and she said, I want my team to play with energy. I want them to be known for energy because I have energy, and I want them to feed off of me. I bring it in practice. I expect them to bring it in practice. And you can see it in this quarter, especially falling down 19, but they didn't hang their head. They didn't say, well, I guess we'll walk out of here with a loss. They are clawing their way back into this one.
Bandoma fighting with Morgan Molly. They call a jump ball possession arrow. We'll keep it with the Friars. And so it is a 7-0 run, Rob, 12-2, and it's just kind of chipped away at this one, and you look up suddenly, and it's a 9-point game. But another turnover for Providence, as they're gonna call a foul on the floor on Nariah Scott.
Yeah, the offensive foul, so no shots for Creighton there because they are over the bonus as well. Providence, that's their 6th foul of the quarter.
Correction, Olivia Olsen gets called. Jensen, she did that in the first half when Creighton needed a bucket, crashes to the rim, is able to get it off of the glass.
And it had been right at 2 minutes since Creighton's last field goal, so that defense really asserting their will for the Friars.
Here's Bandoma again, kicks it out to Morales-Romero. 9-second difference in game and shot clock. Olsen, no. There were 2 Blue Jay defenders on her, and this could be the last possession of the third quarter. Creighton up by 11 points. Lauren Jensen says, give it to me. Jensen, a deep 3, too strong. Rancic ends up with it, goes up at the buzzer. And Creighton will go into the fourth quarter with a 13-point edge. What hustle for the senior, and Emma Rancic up to 20 points on the afternoon. She leads all scores scores, and Creighton's up 13. Fourth and final quarter coming up next from Omaha here on the Big East Digital Network. Josh Peterson and Rob Sims with you as the fourth quarter is set to begin for Creighton and Providence. And Rob, you see the upcoming schedule that the Friars will have. That'll take them through the end of the month of January.
Yeah, it's never an easy stretch in the Big East. There just don't seem to be a whole lot of nights off. You saw the schedule or the standings just a moment ago too with how compact it is. So a tough run ahead for the Friars. At least they have 3 of 5 at home.
And you see what the Blue Jays have. They'll have a week off before they play at Villanova.
Well, maybe the airport can get uncovered by then with the foot plus of snow that Omaha has had over the last several days.
Creighton up by 13 points. Providence was able to find themselves offensively in that quarter. 18. And they shot much improved from what happened in the second. Morales Romero trying to get it inside. Nice job by Morgan Molly. Ends up being a jump ball, and it'll go over to the Creighton Blue Jays.
Yeah, you can see some of the issues that the Friars have with turnovers. They want to get post touches. They have some capable post players, especially Olivia Olson, but they just can't seem to complete that post feed when they want to.
That was excellent anticipation from Morgan Molly. She gets it off of a pass from Ronsick as she was along the baseline. She goes down, but she gets back up. Break to Mogensen. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Mallory Break. Turnaround jumper. Nice block shot there from Nariah Scott.
Again, that's now a handful of times that they have forced a bad shot, late shot clock shot attempt, or not even allowed a shot on a possession from Creighton.
Bandoma inside. What a pass to Olsen, and she's stuffed by Ronsick. Shot clock doesn't reset. 10 seconds. Here's Marta Morales Romero. Bandoma with break on her. Bandoma goes up, just a little short, but another offensive rebound. There's good hustle from Gracie Fosa. Another second chance opportunity for the Friars. Morales Romero, she misses. Mogensen goes to the ground, and they're going to say that it goes,
I think, off of Mogensen was the signal.
And good hustle there from Mogensen. But ultimately, it will end up with the Friars. Olsen, you're going to see her go onto the ground as well. Yep, and there it was, right off of the fingertips. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Ifosa, wow, what a great move. She's blocked from behind. And another jump ball is going to be called. The second of the quarter. And there's only 2 seconds on the shot clock. Look at that block from behind.
Yeah, Ifosa got the step, but Morgan Molly not giving up on the play to tip it away.
So that quick whistle will give them a chance. Scott, she didn't realize it.
Nope.
And that's another turnover. So both defenses doing their job so far, and no one has scored, Rob, almost 2 minutes into this fourth and final quarter.
And again, it's no surprise the defense that you're seeing thrown up from Providence. Creighton, Coach Flannery mentioned to us too that he thought that win over Butler was not only one of their best offensive games, but he thought Creighton played one of their best all-around games defensively against Butler as well in that one.
They won that one 89-53. Nice bucket there from Jensen, and Creighton, they were up by 9 points towards the end of the third, and now they're back up by 15. So a slow run here, but a run nonetheless for Creighton going back to the fourth quarter. And they have still kept Providence off of the scoreboard. Olsen stuffed again. That was Ronsick. Here's Ifosa, no one there. Nice jumper from Grace Ifosa, and she's now up to 10 on the day.
Yeah, it feels as though Creighton's defense was challenged a little bit in a timeout recently because they've come out on fire.
Jensen, no one on her, lays it in with the left hand. Bit of a confusion there. Marta Morales-Romero looking back at her teammate.
Right, she had her palms up in the air asking for some communication from her teammates on that defensive switch. Nothing was made.
Jensen up to 17 points now, 8 of 14 from the floor. Ifosa answers on the other end.
Yeah, give her a dozen now on 6 of 10 shooting. So not just making shots, but efficiently making those shots.
So nice to see Grace Ifosa back in the starting lineup. Her first start since around Thanksgiving. Jensen turnaround, just a bit off, and Olivia Olsen is able to pluck it. Here is a three, step back from Morales-Romero. She misses, and it goes out off of Creighton.
The impressive thing to me, too, with what Providence is doing, even though they trail by 13 and have trailed by double digits for a majority since the second quarter, the fight that they're showing, you wouldn't think that they're down 13. You'd think this is a 1-2 possession game with the effort and the energy, the fight that they're showing.
Archibald into Olsen. Olsen gets the friendly roll, and that'll make it an 11-point game. Olivia Olsen, 16 points, 6 of 11 from the field. Jensen, miscommunication between her and the sophomore Kennedy Townsend, so a rare Creighton turnover. That'll be their 6th of the day.
Yeah, just their fourth this half after just 2 in the first half.
And as you said earlier, those happened very early. Townsend, they're going to call her for the foul, was trying to poke it away, but just a little too much contact.
The other impressive thing for me from the standpoint of Providence is they've had so many injuries this year, and we haven't really talked about that much. That Kylie Shepard out for the year, a really important part of this team. Averaged 4 assists per game. That's a big piece that they're missing this year. We've mentioned it many times. Ifosa had missed 11 games before returning earlier this week. They've just been battling that injury bug. So to get those wins against Seton Hall and DePaul, so impressive.
Morgan Molly, good defense. Archibald was trying to chase it down, and she was unable to save it, much to the chagrin of Creighton fans.
Much to the chagrin of Coach Bath, as she gets that technical that I think she was working on earlier and didn't agree with no call there. She thought Morgan Molly perhaps with a nudge that wasn't called.
Yeah, you can see it there, and Molly knocks down the first free throw.
Not surprising because she hasn't missed a free throw this year, Josh.
Ooh, I was worried about the dreaded announcer's
It doesn't exist. Not with Morgan Molly. 24 of 24. We talked to Coach Flannery about that too. Creighton #1 in the nation in free throw percentage, right? They lead the country in shooting, but they're in the 300s, 329 around that area out of 350 or so D1 teams in free throw attempts per game. So Morgan doesn't even rank amongst Big East leaders because she doesn't qualify.
Rob doesn't believe in the announcer's jinx. I do. I'm a respecter of the announcer's jinx. Morgan Molly misses that one. And Creighton's up by 13, closing in on halfway through the fourth and final frame of this one. Inside to Olsen, and Morgan Molly from behind. We have seen Creighton really get after these Providence shooters today. You thought that it might be the other way around, Rob, but it's been Creighton with these blocked shots. Ronsick, no one on her. She's going to drive. She's going to get fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2. Archibald there getting in front of her.
Yeah, Archibald, that's her 4th foul now in the ball game. So keep an eye on some foul troubles now. Farrell has 3. That's the only other Providence player that could potentially be in foul trouble.
First one's good.
So again, back-to-back 20-point games for Ronsick. Talked to Coach Flannery about her high level of play this year. He said, without a doubt, it's the best ball that she has played in her 4 years. Again, this is a former first-team All-Big East player a couple of years ago. Honorable mention last year, 1,000-point scorer in her career. But the play that she went on a run in December where she almost had 5 straight 20-point games, had 19 in that 5th game. And she's just had a tremendously consistent season for the Blue Jays.
And it's the efficiency this year, Rob. Had a chance to talk to her earlier in this week, and she mentioned just how she's able to handle some of the struggles better. There's a nice 3 from Emily Archibald. Gets the lead back down to 12. And Kennedy Townsend trying to answer, and she is able to do so. And a timeout is going to be called. We will take one as well. Creighton up by 15 with 4:45 to go in the game here from Omaha.
With steady wings, Blue Jays fly. With bright minds and curious... With steady wings, Blue Jays fly. With bright minds and curious hearts, they discover their path and soar to new heights. They uncover new research and explore new horizons. At Creighton University, Blue Jays find their perch side by side and take flight, ready to lead the world around them.
In the world of athletes, where every move counts, setbacks can feel like a mountain to climb. At Rothman Orthopedics, our team of top-notch orthopedic experts are here to get you back to doing what you love, because we specialize in you. We're not just about recovery, we're about rewriting your story. With specialized physicians and unwavering support, we help you rise above adversity. Rothman Orthopedics, the official orthopedic provider of athletes.
Alongside Rob Sims, I am Josh Peterson. Those fans have had a lot to cheer about today as their Jays are up 73-58 and on their way towards the 13th win overall of the year. And Rob, Creighton trying to move to 4-2 in conference play.
Yeah, Creighton, those 2 losses too were the other 2 ranked teams in the Big East, so no shame in those losses. Lost to UConn at home, the worst Big East loss in program history since joining the Big East 11 seasons ago. So something to bounce back from, and Creighton has done just that. A DePaul road win, a win against Butler on Wednesday, and if things continue trending in the direction of a win here, they will have bounced back from that defeat well.
Yeah, you and I were in the building for that one. It's a 3 from Morgan Molly, in and out. And we were wondering, how is this team going to respond? It's one thing to lose to UConn by 15 to 20. It's another to fall by as many points as Creighton did. And when we talked to Jim Flannery the other day, he said that he loved their response a couple of games later and what they did versus Butler, saying that that was one of the best games of the year for Creighton.
Yeah, again, and it's the luxury of playing in a high caliber conference too, is that you can drop some games, and Jay's still projected this week as a 5 or 6 seed in the NCAA tournament, trending to make a third straight NCAA tournament for the first time in program history.
Here's another three-point attempt. Give it to Emily Archibald, who's now up to 9 points. She has made all 3 of her shots from beyond the arc. Jensen decides to slow things down, puts her palm down. Morgan Molly, bit of a pump fake. Didn't have anyone on her for a moment. Jensen's gonna take it. Look at Jensen. Lauren Jensen now up to 20 points. A very efficient afternoon for her as well. 9 of 16 and 2 of 4 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, Creighton has what they would call the big 3, and those big 3 have produced big numbers today.
Jensen with 20, Ronsick with 22, and Morgan Molly with 13 points, 55 combined for those 3. Townsend's gonna head to the bench, and Brittany Harshaw will come onto the floor for Creighton. Just the 8th player today to see time for Creighton. Has kept their rotation even shorter than normal. And more good defense and another turnover. That's 15 for Providence. And a foul is gonna be called on the floor. Bryn Farrell there.
Way behind the play too. It was an unusual call on a fast break that everybody was moving, and off the ball, the foul is called.
Ronsick, bit of a pump fake to Molly. And there's a 3 from Harshaw, just came onto the floor. Brittany Harshaw, redshirt freshman out of Andover, Kansas. The other way, and thought it might be a takeaway for Mogensen, but they're gonna call her for the foul.
Yeah, saying that she grabbed the wrist here as Farrell goes up. Yes, correct.
So Bryn Farrell will go to the free throw line. She's 2 of 2 today, shooting about 80% on the year. Is gonna miss that one.
Yeah, she's really upped her production this year as well. Averaged under 7 points per game, right at 3 rebounds per game last year. Now she's averaging better than 10 and 5 this season.
Goes 1 of 2. And the lead back down to 14 with under 3 to go. A full court press. Jensen was trying to get it to Harshaw. It ends up in the hands of Gracie Fosa. She almost loses it. And there's gonna be another turnover, travel on Bryn Farrell. Just a little too quick. It seemed like out of sorts was Providence on that possession.
Really like Providence pressuring on the inbound here as well, and that pressure caused a turnover by the Jays on the last trip. See if they can force another turnover by Creighton.
Yeah, double teamed is Ronsick. And nice drive there. That's Bryn Farrell again. We have said her name a lot in the last 30 seconds or so. And they're gonna call a foul on the floor on Olsen.
A lot of contact there as Creighton trying to break the press a little bit by putting the ball on the floor and moving before the traps can come. But again, this is a team in Providence that is down double figures, and it feels like they're playing in a 1 or 2 possession game with the amount of energy that they are putting forward here, as that's the 5th foul for Bryn Farrell. She picks up a few very quick ones to foul out of this one with 10 points.
So she'll go to the bench for the final time. Mariah Scott comes onto the floor, and Mogensen will go to the free throw line for 2. Now up to 5 points, but you saw the other stats there, Rob. She has made her impact felt, even though it hasn't come too much on the scoreboard today. Only 3 attempts from the field.
Yeah, 5 assists leads this squad. Again, coming off of a season best 8 assists in that win over Butler.
She goes 1 of 2, and Creighton's up by 13. It's been a disjointed minute of basketball, a lot of whistles. Scott over to Morales-Romero. To Olsen. And she's trying to get it to Ifosa, but nice defense there from Jensen. Archibald. She hasn't left her pivot foot. Harshaw tipped it for just a moment. Scott gets it up. What a rebound inside, and 2 free throws coming for Olivia Olsen.
Yeah, Olsen grabbing that board, and she's got herself another double-double in this one, her 7th of the season for the leading rebounder on this squad.
And a timeout is going to be called by Aaron Bath and Providence.
And again, just watching Coach Bath during that possession for the Friars, and you know, in our conversation with her and talking to some people around the Providence program, I mean, this is a home run hire. I mean, and talking to the Providence folks too, it's like you speak with Coach Bath, why wouldn't you want to play for her? Well, why wouldn't you want to give your best for her? And that's kind of just the personality that she exudes. And my goodness, to be an assistant as long as she was, and this is her first head coaching job. Kudos to Providence for finding her, and she definitely has them trending in the right direction. And I've been impressed with their effort. Despite being down again most of this ball game, the effort that they have shown is going to fight and grit themselves to some victories this season.
Grit, one of the words that she said when we talked to her. You asked, you know, what does an Aaron Bath team look like? And she talked about energy. She wants defense. She wants diving on the floor. I want grit. You're going to love your life or you're going to be miserable. What a quote from the first-year head coach, but she's been an assistant for over a dozen seasons, played ball at Clemson into the early 2000s, and you see, minute 48 to go. Her team's trailing by 13, as engaged, though, in this moment as she was in the first seconds of this one.
And from what we're told, it's 24/7.
Like this all the time.
It's just not in games. It's not in practice. It's not when you're doing pregame calls with her. It's all the time. Energy, energy, energy. And it's contagious, I think.
Jensen behind the back, lays it in with the left hand. Lauren Jensen up to 22. She ties Ronsick for the game high. 44 combined for those 2 players, 13 for Morgan Molly. And Creighton's up by 15 with 73 seconds to go. Another foul is going to be called. This one is going to go against the Friars, and so another turnover. Make that 17 for Providence. They came into this one averaging just under 21 a game.
Yeah, and that foul on Archibald, her 5th, so 2 fouls, disqualifications now for the Friars. Archibald walks off the floor with 9 points, 3 boards, 4 assists. And we'll see Michaela Miller on the floor for the first time. Looks to me like maybe Keani Lockett not feeling her best, as she's a regular rotation player for the Blue Jays who has not played today.
Olivia Olsen, another takeaway, and a foul is going to be called on Haran, so Olsen will go back to the free throw line.
So again, even in the closing moments of a game that seems to be in hand for the Blue Jays, you're seeing the defensive calling card that coach wants her team to play with.
And another sub. Sarah Bandoma will go to the bench. Bella McLaughlin will come in. First time that we have seen her tonight. And her 11th appearance of the year. Hasn't played in every game.
Yeah, Olivia Olsen, though, at the line, she's going to garner some all-conference honors, I would believe. Again, her 7th double-double of the season, and ranking in the top 5 in several categories in the Big East.
Almost another takeaway. Sorry, Rob, didn't mean to step on you there with a minute to go. Olsen up to 18 points. She's led all Friars today. A lot of free throw attempts. It's been tough for her, though, on the defensive end. Hasn't made that impact like we thought she might with some blocked shots. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Nice one-handed floater there from Brittany Harshaw. And she has now a bucket as this one comes to a close. Efosa, another strong drive for what could be her final points of the day. 14, and just so nice to see Grace Efosa back in the lineup as Ronsick crashes into our broadcasting table. No foul, though, called there, Rob.
Yeah, it's, we're adjusting our table here still and trying to get back on track as she comes crashing in. There we are. We're okay. We're okay. Emma's okay. I think we're all okay. The table may not be, though. We're going to have to check the Pickelman sign after this one.
Yeah, here's a replay.
And there's us fearing for our lives.
Yeah. It didn't look like the table moved very much in the replay, but I can tell you it did.
We can't even push it back to where it belongs as Emma fouls out. Insult to injury there. She fouls out after getting checked into the boards, if you will.
Yeah, I don't think that's how she planned on the game coming to an end. Yeah, look. She points over. I think she said, bro. Might have cut her knee a little bit.
Yeah, we'll be able to. I don't know if I'll ask her about that post game, but we'll chat with her. We'll chat with her post game after another efficient offensive performance.
It's good that your soda was empty.
Lids were on the water.
Hey, you know, it's a good teaching moment here as this one comes to an end. And Creighton, they're going to get an 11-point win, 81-70. Their 13th win overall, their 4th win in conference. Meanwhile, the Friars, they battled in this one under Coach Aaron Bath, and they will fall to 8-10 on the year and 2-3 in conference play. But what a game for the Creighton offense, especially after what we saw from them in the first quarter. They struggled from the floor, 6 of 15 in that one, and yet they still finished this game shooting close to 50%, 29 of 60 overall. They went about 35% from the from the three-point line, but a nice victory for the Blue Jays. And you see there Jim Flannery as his team picks up the 81-70 victory over the Providence Friars. Looks like he has a microphone in hand, might be about ready to address the crowd, and indeed he is. Letting everybody know how much he appreciates them, given the weather that we have had here in Omaha. Super cold and super snowy. Let's go over to Rob Sims.
Josh, thank you. Here with Emma Ronsick after a really hard-fought 81-70 victory over Providence. Emma, down the stretch, they kept fighting. What was it like, that intensity throughout the game?
Yeah, they definitely brought it to us in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, just pressing us. I think that's really good for us. We turned the ball over a few times. That just didn't need to happen. So that just makes us learn and practice more about the live press play that we're going to have to work on, because we're on the road with 2 pretty tough teams this week. So I'm not glad we got those turnovers, but in a sense, kind of, because we're going to learn from that.
Your offensive efficiency has really been noticeable this year. What is it about your offensive game that you've really honed in on and perfected this year?
Yeah, I think it's just really the confidence piece for me. Last year, I think I lacked that in myself. But then the coaches and my teammates, they believe in me and I believe in myself. And I can also say that about any of the other girls on this team, that I believe in everything that they're capable of doing. So I don't know, I think it's just the confidence and the belief that people have in me. It's making me perform better, but then it's also making my teammates and my coaching staff better. So yeah, it's been a really fun year, and I'm ready to get going more.
All right, Emma, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you to Emma Ronsick for joining Rob there as her Blue Jays pick up the 81-70 win over Providence. We'll come back, wrap things up from Omaha. Creighton gets their 13th win of the year over the Providence Friars.
With steady wings, Blue Jays fly. With bright minds and curious hearts, they discover their path and soar to new heights. They uncover new research and explore new horizons. At Creighton University,